Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to this special interview we're doing with a kid that's on a mission and his father. We've got none other than Michael Sugarbomb Claycomb and Shehan Joseph Claycomb on the interview with us. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Great. We're in Vegas. We're avoiding the heat, but we're doing great. So
Well, you're probably doing a better job than me. It's a million degrees out here in Miami. Is it hot over there too?
Yeah, it's like 113, 114.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's bad here
It's
too.
like 90.
It's bad here too. So listen, I'm excited you guys are joining us. Couple things going on. I want to let everybody out there, Knucklehead Nation, know Michael is not only competing at FightersRep 25 on September 7th, so be sure to get your tickets to come out and support the Sugarbomb, one of the fastest rising stars in all of FightersRep and in the striking game. But Michael is also going for a belt at the IKF tournament. Unless something has changed, I think you guys were fighting for a belt at the tournament. That happens tomorrow. You weighed in today. I believe that's the case. Kind of expand on that for me if you don't mind, Mike.
Yeah, so tomorrow is the IKF tournament. It's here in Vegas at the Westgate. So I got a bracket going on, and so I'm going to be fighting for a belt. Actually, my division has 3 people I got to buy. So nice. Whoever wins between the 2nd and 3rd seed fights me in the final for the belt. And yeah, so that's going on.
That's people, quite a if you want to get an advantage at a tournament, register early.
Yeah. Well, that's quite a comfortable position to be in. I mean, how'd you guys end up mustering that where you get the buy at the beginning?
So we registered for a rule set that was identical to FightersRep because that's what we're trying to get more time in with, more ring time. And I registered Michael for that because it kind of was between FightersRep and other events. So it worked out as a timing thing. And then I just registered. I went for it. And first time for us to do the tournament stuff. And we didn't have an opponent. So we ended up being asked if we could switch, and we now are going to a different rule set. And so they didn't have an opponent. We didn't have an opponent. Same weight class, same level of experience for the most part on everybody else. But then a third person joined, and it becomes like a buy for like one of the people. And so we were the first people to register and waiting for an opponent, and we accommodated by going into a rule set that was favoring what they wanted, not what we originally wanted. So
I see. I see. By the way, shout out to John Acuna in here. He says Fox 5 says 112 degrees. And then he says, go Mikey, so proud of you. So, we got the Sugarbomb squad in the chat already. Awesome. Now, let me ask you guys, so what rule set did they end up putting you in for this tournament?
International rules. So basically, unified rules like we do at FightersRep, right, is the clinch with some knees, right, with 3 to 5 seconds, all the legs, everything. The international rules is punching and kicking only. So no clinch, no knees, no nothing. So basically, it's striking with hands and feet only.
Yeah.
But still 2-minute rounds and still full contact, and of course, it's IKF sanctioned. So
no clinch at all.
It's no clinch, no knees. We originally signed up for the unified rules, which is identical to what we do at FightersRep, because that's the best way to get more practice, right? We've done full rules, obviously, with a few other places, but Michael, he's always said, I really don't want to have a slow fight. I like the pace. So we wanted the rules that matched FightersRep, because that's where we feel is home. And but it ended up being something that didn't have knees or clinch. So that's right. That's right. Looks good on you. It looks good on you.
Thank you. Looks good on you too. Look, we got all 3 colors. Yeah. ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, whichever ones you want to purchase, reach out to Joseph or Michael Claycomb. Get you a Sugarbomb shirt. That's how we support these young fighters. That's how we bring them through. And also by subscribing to the channel and joining the channel and sponsoring. If you want to sponsor, reach out to us or reach out to Michael or Joseph. We're happy to make it happen. So
sponsors are great. Help me out.
so that doesn't sound like a terrible rule set for you guys. I mean, just kicking and punching. The lack of knees is interesting, but just punching and kicking, I know you're not as versed in it, obviously, because since you've been fighting with us, Mikey, for a couple years now, but not a bad rule set for you.
No, this is actually my specialty, just punching and kicking. I keep the distance. I always like to pressure from afar, so punching and kicking is right in my alley.
Yeah.
I love this. I'm ready for it.
And John Acuna says, did you bring any large in black with you guys? So we've got somebody interested in some Sugarbomb merchandise.
We did not bring any merchandise.
Yeah.
We barely got here.
That's a story and a half in itself.
Yeah. Getting the merchandise was kind of hard to get.
Yeah.
Well, we can ship it out if you want to buy
Shipping is available.
Yes.
Well, yeah, John, definitely reach out to them. Reach out to them on Instagram, and we're happy to make it happen. And they're happy to send you a shirt and, give you a taste of that Sugarbomb squad. So when is the fight? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. I believe the
7.
I believe it starts at 7.
7
p.m.
Okay.
Pacific time.
And what division are you fighting in? What weight class?
So it's a bracket between 159 to 164 plus 1. So 160 to 165 basically. I weighed in at 163, similar to the same weight that I did at the last FightersRep against.
So basically middleweight. It's middleweight for the IKF, I believe.
Yeah.
He lost 2 pounds standing in line.
Yeah, I lost 2 pounds just standing in line. 4 hours. 4 hours for weighing.
Vegas will do it to you.
4 hours.
But luckily, immediately after the fight, you can easily replenish in Vegas. Lot to drink and lot to eat out there.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who you're fighting?
Yeah. So I briefly saw them today. One guy's 5'11", one is 6'2". I believe one has 9-4 record. The other is 10-0. So yeah, they're both seem like pretty good matchups. Personally, I could care less who I fight.
5-0 kickboxing. It's deceiving though. So one person's undefeated. It's combined MMA and kickboxing.
Oh, okay.
But
well, I know it sounds like good competition. Sounds like good competition. Are they locals? Or are they from out of state? I mean, do you know anything else about them?
I think they're both from out of state. I don't think they're either from Cali or Vegas. I think they're just from the U.S.
One is from, I think, Louisiana,
I
think. And then the other, I don't know where the other person is. So
nice.
There's not much about them, like, on the platform. The website just kind of says where they train from and what the record is. It's not much on social media about either of them. So
I see. Well, listen, we wish them the best of luck and may the best man win. But we're siding with the Sugarbomb over here at FightersRep. And speaking of which, Michael, I love the fact that you're staying busy. I've told you this before, and I've told Joseph this before. Not many people are doing this thing right. And I think you have a fabulous guide in your father. And this is full disclosure and a big hint to all the fighters out there that are looking for a good team to train with. I do think that the Claycombs are doing this the right way in keeping Michael active. Mike, I think that's the way to do it. I always tell people, whether it's me or whether it's someone else, stay active. That's going to make you a great fighter, right? The experience. And it's because there's just nowhere near enough experience in the amateur game for striking. People think PKB is going to do it. PKB is not going to do it. What you're doing right here, full contact amateur, that's what's going to do it for you, Mikey. So I love the way your dad is guiding you through this. I love the way you guys are doing this. And I wanted to give you credit on that. You know what I mean? And then
Appreciate that so much.
Yeah, and then you're turning around in less than a month and a half, and you're going to be right back home in the Lions Den, taking on a very tough guy in Mark Reels. You're always taking on tough competition. You're surging, he's surging. I just kind of wanted a little bit of your thoughts on that fight, Mike.
Yeah, I was watching Mark Rios' fight actually the other week. He's really good. Great set of hands. He had great combos, great traps. I think it's going to be a really good fight. I've already reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, brother, like let's go out there and just give it our best." And he responded the same. So it's nothing personal, but we're gonna go out there and give it our best. This is what we do. This is the business. And I think he's really talented. I think he's really smart. He's not a dumb fighter, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think the fans are really going to be in for a treat for this one. So
I think so too, man. I think you're both dynamic. I think you're both super talented, and a lot of people sweat losses and wins and stuff like that in the amateur game. That's another thing I love about you and your team. You guys understand this is the amateurs. This is the place to get better. This is the place to face all kinds of different looks and competition, so that when we do turn you pro, or when you become pro, wherever you go, you're going to be ready for whatever comes your way, Sugarbomb, at that point. So I think this is a fantastic fight because it's two talented, surging young prospects, kind of meeting up with each other. I mean, this is a fight, if you ask me, this is such an exciting fight, right? That, this could be a main event on a card. Like, that's how good this fight is, between you and Mark Reels. Yeah, no, I think both of you are incredible talents, you and Mark. So, I love the fact that you guys are meeting this early on in your careers, because it's just going to make you that much better. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I'll ask the both of you that.
You go for it. I mean, it's all about experience at the end of the day. And you touched on, people making a big deal about losses. Taking a loss is hard emotionally. It's hard to muster up the courage to keep going, for a lot of people. In karate, we have a saying that says, fall down 7, get up 8. And what it represents basically means that you're going to get up more times than you're going to fall. If you fail 3 times, you're going to get up more than 3. You're going to get up a 4th time. It's just a metaphor for always getting back up and coming back. So Michael had, a couple of fights that he lost. That it happens, right? You're learning and experience, and nerves catch the best of you. Settling into yourself is not easy for everyone, and of course, with us, it's like also the pressure of representing, our dojo, representing ourselves, representing karate as well on a stage. And so there's more to it, but it's keep on coming, keep on going. If we, I mean, since Fighters Rep, when did we meet? Fighters Rep 7, I think, or 8.
It was 10. I think Mikey fought on 10.
yeah,
He fought on 10, but we
met at 9. I think we met at 9.
We met at 9. Yeah, I cornered Quincy that day, I think, and for Fighters Rep 9. And there's a lot of people I haven't seen back since, how many, wherever that is, 12 Fighters Reps ago. I mean, it's a lot of people we fought that haven't been back after we fought them. So
you mean 16 Fighters Reps ago? We're headed towards 25.
Yeah.
September.
Yeah. So there you go. So I mean, you can see the turnaround, or I want to say the turnover. Where people they figure out this isn't as, I didn't want to do it as seriously. For Michael, this is a career that he said he wanted to take the path of. I wasn't going to let him do it without the proper guidance, or somebody who's not just trying to get more skin in the game to be, take advantage of his talents. And because I've also instructed him his whole life, we know each other in and out the best way possible. And it's important to be supportive. If you a lot of people don't support their fighters the same way on an emotional level. let alone the coaching, the teaching, the training, the time spent.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important. A lot of people need support and they don't get it. So it's not easy. This is the fight business. You know, it's not easy,
Yeah.
but be a pro to become a pro. You know, be a pro to become a pro on
Has
all
it,
aspects.
Joseph, has it been, would you say it's been, I mean, I know it's had to been hard for you as a father, what, sending your son into that lion's den or into that ring over and over again.
Yeah,
Do you feel like it's gotten easier for you, or is it still difficult?
it's still difficult because the preparation is difficult. Um, you know, it's also a couple of things. One, I'm sending my son, uh, to fight the wolves. He's going out there. I don't have the ability to step inside the ring and back him up like if it was in the street, right?
Yeah.
So, like if it's in the street, I'm going to be there, right? But in the ring, I have to stay behind the ropes and just shout out instructions. So I feel like I can't do much other than we got to prepare. And so it's
Yeah.
emotionally tasking. In the very first 4 or 5, maybe even 6 fights, I would have my heart was pounding in my chest and I have to walk around Commerce to calm down and take a breath. And every time I wrap his hands, in the very first few times, same thing, I start getting nerves myself and I'm trying to keep him calm. So it's,
Yeah.
as a parent slash sensei slash coach slash everything, it's not easy on me to let him go out there with the risk that's there. That's why it's so intense when we train. That's why every millimeter that we're working on is for the safety of his, physical and mental safety.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a lot that comes into it. I don't think a lot of people have that same connection, or maybe some do, but I want to say on a general basis, most people don't have that father son emotion because
Yeah. Yeah.
there's only one person that I know in the game uh, who fights, and it's his father is his coach, which is Desmond from. We met him at Black House,
What about
and his father
Hamza?
Albert
What about Hamza?
and Hamza. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Hamza's right, also right,
Hamza.
and
Yeah.
and Jamal. So like, there's only like a couple of people that I've seen in the whole entire community, and I know both of them, and we all three dads relate to how it is with training
Yeah.
our kids.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Shout
so
out to John Acuna, by the way. He says you're gonna have local fans repping, Mike. No worries, you got this. So it looks like you're gonna have some. I mean, you're
that's
definitely gonna have fans at Fighters Rep. Hopefully, you'll have some out there in Vegas as well. And a huge shout out to the queen of Sugar Bomb Nation, Aziza Osman, says having a dad like Abu Sugar Bomb in your corner is a guaranteed recipe for success. And I couldn't agree more. Big shout out to her. Michael, let me ask
well, you
you.
see,
Yeah,
he does the cooking. I do the eating.
well,
Yes.
but you're definitely adding to the recipe. You've added
That's
quite a
right.
bit to the
That's
recipe.
right.
Now,
That's
Mikey,
right.
let me ask you something, right? You've definitely taken a lot of challenges, and then I'm going to ask your dad this afterwards. You've definitely taken on a lot of challenges in the Lions Den. I mean, and you have treated this like a career. And I think, I haven't put you in there easy. You've been in there tough time and time again, not only at my promotion, but the couple fights you've had outside of my promotion, you were put in there tough as well. And, you're coming out on top more often than you're not, right? You've got a winning record. You're doing a fantastic job. You've won a title already in Muay Thai. But I wanted to ask you, this experience that you're getting specifically at Fighters Rep, how do you feel like it's affected you so far as a martial artist and also mentally?
As a martial artist, it's given me more purpose into perfecting my craft, just from the combat aspect of it. And from I guess the mental aspect as well, because in order to kind of stay sane in what I'm doing, like stepping into the ring, like I kind of have to hone in on my own mental aspect as well. So it's kind of also forced me to dive into that aspect, like the mental side, the emotional side, in my martial arts training as well. Like when I'm training, I'll be picturing scenarios of me like walking up the ring, or scenarios of me in the fight when I felt like I was hurt, or moments where you want to give up, or moments where you're scared, moments where
Yeah.
you're doing something like all of that kind of I put those memories or moments, that the experience, into my training, and it kind of gives it more purpose. So it's helped my martial arts aspect in both ways, the mental and the physical, from perfecting my technique, my craft, my skills, to also my mental capabilities and emotional control as well.
And to
So,
piggyback off of that, how would you describe your improvement, if any? How would you assess your improvement in the Lions Den from Fighters Rep 10 until today?
oh, dude, it's huge. Like that experience of like that. Yeah, man, it's so hard to describe, but all the scenarios that you get put in when you're in the ring, when having that to be able to visualize when you're training, it helps improve it so much, because it just brings that much more importance, and also your ability to kind of recognize situation from situation. In terms of my emotions and mental, it's already been a huge improvement, just learning how to stay calm, not getting so jittery or anxious, not thinking about the future and the past, just staying present in the moment. Uh, I had a really hard time. I still kind of have a hard time with it sometimes, but it's definitely been like an improvement over the like since Fighters Up 10, just staying composed, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like you're not even the same guy as Fighters Rep 10. Joseph, I want to ask you too, what improvements have you seen in Sugar Bomb physically, mentally? Where is he at now versus where he was at Fighters Rep 10 when we first got him in that Lions Den against Richie?
Huh. Well,
And by the
none
way,
of the
and
fights.
by the way, the champ, Jason Gator Granado's in here, says, "Let's go, boys," with the sugar and the candy emoticon. Shout out to
That's
the champ,
right.
Jason Granado. Go ahead, Joseph.
That's right. Gator's our boy. Gator's our boy. We love Jason. Jason and
Love Jason.
his family. We love him. So shout out to the Gator family. Um, well, I was gonna say, like, you're right. None of the fights have been easy. I mean, from day one. I still joke around about this with Juan, and I say, Banda, man, you are one tough SOB. Like, no matter what Michael did, you didn't get. He took everything and then he dished it back. I still feel like, Juan. I mean, no disrespect to anyone else, but Juan's just a beast, and
Yeah,
but everyone is. I mean, everyone is too. But I feel like every fight has brought a different thing or a different element out of Michael, and forced him to bring more of himself into the game. When it comes to improvements, obviously every fight is going to be featuring a different skill that comes out organically as it, just in the scenarios of the fight or the matches. But he started off with less variety of technique, and we've been able to add more technique because in karate we have every single thing that you can imagine. From it just every technique is available that we have. So it's not about we don't know how to do certain things. It's about how do we use it in this scenario. We all have the same deck of cards, but if you're playing crazy eights, it's different rules than playing blackjack or go fish or war, whatever.
right,
It's the
right.
same stuff, just
Yeah,
different rules. So people kind of look at what we do and they think we don't have it. And Michael hasn't had the opportunity to show everything. Also, he's still learning karate.
Yeah.
He's not done learning karate. People go, "Oh, you should do this and you should do that. Add this." I'm like, no, we haven't even tip of the iceberg yet with karate itself. And there's so much to the game in kickboxing
yeah,
that just
yeah.
allows us to display it. So every fight's been tough. There's been a different element from Michael in every single fight. So I think we have something called Kaizen. It just means constant improvement. That's a Japanese martial arts philosophy. So it means to always improve. Well, you can't improve if you don't keep going and keep trying and going back to the drawing board. So I've seen him add weapons to his arsenal. The spinning back kick was one chapter. I mean that was one chapter that was revealed. I mean, we're still the only. Well, I'm gonna pat my own back on this one. I'm responsible for the only 2 spinning back kicks in Fighters Rep history. Just
both
saying.
both with
Both.
both with absolutely brutal results.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'll take credit for that. But Michael showed more versatility in every fight. So that's been an ongoing improvement. His hands have been getting better. His boxing skills, which we call boxing, we just call it hands, but boxing techniques, right? Karate techniques. More close range, more far range, mixing the 2 ranges, not just far away, but up close, going for the body shots, going for the uppercuts. We use both sides. We don't even have like a one uppercut. We use lead uppercut and rear uppercut. There's a lot of, versatility in the technique.
Let me show this. Hold on. Let me show this logo off a little clearer. All right, go ahead.
So, for those that don't know, that's actually a silhouette of me.
when he was
when I was his age, I could when I was his age, I could hook punch people in the head without a warm up. So now, different story. 30 years later is a little different.
If it was today, it'd be a little lower.
It'd be a lot lower. A lot lower.
It'd be a leg kick. It'd be a leg kick.
Yeah, it'd be a leg kick. Yes. But I was saying, like some of the improvements too has also been his conditioning. So on a mental level, he's getting better because that just comes with experience, right? The calmness, the alertness, the how to deal with certain techniques, because you just get hit with them and attacked with them, and you get exposed to things. So you learn how to deal with them because you've been exposed to them. So, it's a natural process. But we got dialed in after his eye surgery, which people, again, I mentioned it again today we met up with Hot Water Faucet today.
Man, the champ.
We were
Shout out
there
to the champ.
at the medical, and he was there. We're talking, and I was telling him, Michael was kind of blind for the first 5 fights. So after his eye surgery last March of 23, right? Yeah, March of 23. It took a little while for him to understand what the data is coming in to the scenario. So a lot of nerves when your brain's trying to process differently, because it's a lot of detail. And they warned us about that he was going to have a hard time with coordination, with, distance perception and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we went to karate combat with only 1 sparring session, but, we took the opportunity. And he was still trying to figure out how to, move with his eyes. And then when we came to Royal Combat, we got the title and won the 5 round, and Michael put him away. I mean, that guy was a Terminator too, Hoskins. That was the real Michael that I was expecting. And, it was the first time we dealt with a full rules, like clinch. And we had a game planned, but a little bit of help from Squirrel Muay Thai as well to kind of give us, some pointers. And
big shout out to Squirrel Muay
Thai. So, but once Michael got past that point, he, displayed his distancing and his striking and his versatility and his close range, and got that title. So that was like the first step, and his conditioning was ready for that 5 round fight. And that was the first camp we had completely alone, no other conditioning coaches or anything else. And it was just us 45 sessions together, like for training. And since then, his conditioning, his strength, his power has improved. And the last 2 fights have been, I want to say
stoppages. Finishes.
The stoppage, well, one was a KO, one was a TKO. So both of those fights was both of them were second round stops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them were second round stops, KO and TKO. So
Yeah.
his power is getting there, his calmness is getting there, and so there's every improvement on many different levels. It doesn't all happen all at once, you know. It doesn't come here this much and there. It kind of organically happens. So yeah, he's improving, and the experience is now we're 10 fights in, 10 sanctioned fights in.
Wow.
And my goal is, you know, today or tomorrow, and then September and November we get another 3 fights. That's, you know, putting us above the 10 mark, and then hopefully we hit 20 by next year or thereof. You know, that's the goal, is to get at least 20 fights
Yeah.
as an amateur before we even think about anything else.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
know,
love that idea. You know, I'm a big fan of that idea. With that, before we continue, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Join the channel. It's just $9.99. You help me build this channel where we do a podcast every Monday and Thursday. But you also get to help build a full-fledged kickboxing promotion, probably the best one in the world, Joseph. FightersRep Promotion,
right.
where we're bringing out.
That's right.
Where we're bringing out and bringing up fantastic fighters like Michael Sugarbomb and his opponent on September 7th. Mark highlight reels. It's going to be an incredible fight. As you can see, Mikey's staying busy here. He's got a fight tomorrow in Vegas for the IKF tournament, which we love. And so, you know, support the channel. Get your tickets at FightersRep.com. It's going to be fantastic. Joseph, let me ask you guys. So is it only one fight you guys are getting tomorrow? Is there a chance you get more than one fight for him?
It was originally supposed to be a 4-man bracket, so it would be 2 fights in one day. Like, you know, they were going to do like a 4-hour separation or something. That's what they said. But it ended up being a 3-man bracket based on the weight and based on the rules.
Yeah.
So again, because we didn't get the rule set that we originally intended, we kind of jumped into a rule set by switching over to accommodate the bracketing to have an opponent. So as it stands right now, weigh-ins are over. It's a 3-person bracket. He gets the bye because he was there first, and you know, and it's it's one and done, and it's for a title. And here's the fun part: it's 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Not 5.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. From what
I
understand,
the way, you know,
they
you
haven't
guys
mentioned anything about that, you know.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I mean, you guys brought up karate combat earlier. I don't know if you guys saw this. You keep saying bracket, and what keeps popping up in my head is Connor Bracken. Right.
Yeah,
And you actually told me about the weigh-in. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, you know, Bracken is a FightersRep legend. You know, I mean, the majority of his pro career was built in the Lion's Den, and I've always said at 185 pounds, that's a guy that I think can beat anyone in the world at 185 pounds. And he went out there on a karate combat, Joseph. It got the TKO in the first round, knocked the guy's mouthpiece out. You know, I was wondering if you had seen that.
Yeah, well, we watched the karate combat fights, the ones that we wanted to see, because we had a few friends. So Connor is one of those guys that we consider, like, you know, a friend from the you know, the community, right?
Yeah.
And we had Weber Almeida, and who else did we know? There was a couple of other people we knew, but Weber from Machida Karate was there. We were wanting to see how he was going to do. He got a knockout, but Connor, we were just, you know, I knew, oh gosh, you know, this guy's going to go in there and tear it up. And and that's exactly what he did. And I sent him an Instagram, and I said, hey, you know, let's go get that W. And you know, he's just a respectful guy, you know, and always says, thank you, coach. And I really like Connor. And, you know, of course, he's with Wooden Man. I mean, come on. You can't have that kind of physicality and attitude and then that coach and not be good.
The best at 185. I'm telling you, I think he's the best at 185. And what I love about it, right, is when you guys came to me, when the Claycombs came to me, first off, it's been a fantastic, extremely professional relationship. And I wish every relationship was like this one, right, where I can just, you know, help you guys grow, and you guys are interested in growing, and we just get on and get it done. But when you came to me, you told me, you were kind of thinking about MMA in the beginning, just to get Mikey some experience. But then you said, well, but that's not what we want to do. We're strikers. We want to be strikers. We don't want to kind of sell out and do MMA just for the money. And we're interested in maybe.
I got a lot to say about that, actually.
And we're interested in maybe, going to karate combat at some point in the future, or becoming pro at FightersRep, or whatever it is. And I love the fact, Joseph, that it manifested, right, in the form of Connor Bracken, who I never had the pleasure of having him as an amateur, but I want to say his second, third, fourth, fifth fights as a pro. The majority of his fights, almost all his fights as a pro, have been at FightersRep. You're right, have been at FightersRep. And for him to perform the way he did at FightersRep, improve the way he did at FightersRep, and then find an opportunity at karate combat as well, and hopefully, get some money for it and continue to grow his career. Hopefully we get him back as well. It was just a beautiful thing to watch, knowing that that's something you were interested in as well.
Well, I mean, Michael, when we started this journey, we didn't know about FightersRep. We weren't very familiar with anything called PKB or any of the Muay Thai. We didn't know anything. We're familiar with the karate tournaments, traditional karate tournaments that I pretty much haven't participated in a long time, because it's just not the goal of my dojo. I want to do something different, more practical. And we were already on this applicable, practical approach to combative applications. That's what CKA really means, is combative karate applications.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just.
So it's not Claycomb Karate Academy.
CKA was originally
double meaning
karate applications, and it also is the same initials as Claycomb Karate Academy.
I like that.
It's a mix, But my approach is to show effective karate for not just points, but for combat, for self-defense, for the real world. Yeah. So we were already in this direction, but we didn't know about the promotions for the sports side of things, and we just were introduced to, the MMA. Like, there was Star and a couple of others that we found out about, and then the pandemic showed up, and then that was it, and we didn't know what to do from there because nobody knew what to do. And so once I saw what your promotion was doing with the Lions Den, I was like, oh, well, we could do this. This is perfect. Yeah, right up our alley. And MMA is a great template to display your skills. We can't deny that. But if I'm going to take my pick as to what's entertaining, it's going to be a striking event first, and it'll be kickboxing, K1 style, glory kickboxing, boxing, or if there's any karate out there, like karate combat. Yeah, that's what I don't watch MMA. I used to watch MMA to support Lyoto, to support people I knew. So the goal doesn't have to be MMA just because it's available, right? And I was telling Aaron, I was telling him, I said, if you are a Muay Thai, you don't need to validate Muay Thai by going to MMA. Yeah. I wanted to say, I feel the same. We don't need to validate karate by going to MMA.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wanted to say that I appreciate your connection, because you brought up the name Machida. I really appreciate your introduction to Chinzo Machida, because I don't know if you know this, he's got a fighter on the upcoming FightersRep, and it's Kunimasa Onji. He's going to be competing, with you guys at the next FightersRep, and I think that's very exciting.
So let Michael tell you this. So how you know him, how we know him, besides Chinzo, but at the Nikkei Games.
Yeah. So last August we went to a karate tournament just to take the kids from the dojo, give them a little bit of an introduction, and it was my first time in like 5 years competing. So I was like, okay, let me go compete, and Kunimasa was in the same division as me. So I ended up did the katas first, right? And then we did the kumite, the sparring, the fighting. I got knocked out in the first round by an old friend of mine. He's actually a world champion. He beat me 4-5. He's the current world champion, actually. So he goes to Las Vegas every April and wins. I was like, okay. So he beat me by 1 point, and Kunimasa beat him 1-0 in the final.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where I met Kunimasa. This guy's really good. And then uh, a little bit after that, just to meet, just to keep, relations, all that kind of stuff, say hi, and spar with him. But we were all kind of doing like a group sparring, and very nice, very respectful, great guy, really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him at Fighters Rep. I think it's gonna be fun. Finally, I'm
Awesome.
not by myself.
Well, I've been
Well,
telling
let me ask you. So you
to
said
do Fighters Rep for a long time,
so you said you fought at the karate tournament. You lost 5-4 against some guy, and then Kunimasa, because you kind of started cutting out, right? So I just want to be sure we got it down. So you said Kunimasa ended up fighting that guy, and he won 1-0, and that's how you met him.
Yeah, he won. Yeah, it was the final. He beat the other guy 1-0.
I see.
And
I
was
see.
watching the fight, and I was like, wow, this guy's really good. And then we
Cool,
saw him
cool,
at Machitos after that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I've
That's
been
awesome.
telling
But yeah, I mean,
Chinzo
we'll have two traditional karate fighters on this upcoming Fighters Rep card, which is pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I had Chinzo. I don't know if you remember Chinzo, Leota's brother, Chinzo, the chief instructor at Machida Karate. He came to the Spirits fight
Yeah,
for Michael.
I
To
remember
support
that.
Michael. So he was there, and that was the first time. And I have been asking him to do Fighters Rep since then.
I'm really glad they're coming through, and I appreciate it.
So I mean, now that they're in the mix, now we're not the only people representing traditional karate anymore.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's very cool. That's very cool, man. That's very cool. Michael, Joseph, Claycomb Karate. I've kept you guys. It's almost 42 minutes now. Tell everybody where they can follow you guys on social media, where they can follow the career of Michael Sugarbomb Claycomb.
Well, if you want to follow the dojo, just go on Instagram, Claycomb Karate. If you want to follow me, it's michaelclaycomb.cka, or just type in Sugarbomb, it's the profile name. So if you guys want to hit us up there, we also got a shop where you can find these shirts. If you want to get these, they're $45 a pop. We got some other cool gear there on the website as well. So if you want to hit the shop up, go to Claycomb Karate. And yeah, that's where you guys can find us. Claycomb Karate on Facebook too.
That's a great logo.
Show them the back. Show them the back.
Show them the back. Fuck it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So that's the mask that he wears. That's the mask that he wears, the Mempo mask, and that Sugar Bomb in there. And just to give you a little story about this real quick. Go ahead. Yeah. So the story is that the Mempo mask, the samurai used to wear about 4 types of masks. And one was full face, one was above the nose, one was below the nose, and one's the chin strap mask kind of thing. And they're basically like to intimidate their enemies in war. And so they wear a demon face to put fear into their enemies. And we got Michael's mask with Sugar Bomb colors on it because he's the samurai that's representing the art. And we got him the Mempo mask to go full, full samurai, so to speak.
And we can't forget the Arab headdress, the kafia. You know what I mean? He wears that as well.
The kafia. Yeah, we wear the kafia to represent Palestine, every day, all day. So
I love it. I love it. Shout out to Palestine. Shout out to the people in Palestine. I hope God brings them peace and brings peace to the Middle East. Michael, you're fighting on September 7th. Every time Sugar Bomb's in the lines, then it's a show. Every time Mark Reels is in the lines, then it's a show. Tell us before you sign off, before I let you go here, because I know you got to go soon. Why should people buy tickets to come watch Sugar Bomb fight on September 7th? Why should people go to FightersRep.com right now and cop their tickets to this fight?
Well, like you said, every time I fight, I always put on a show. Enough said. I always bring electricity. I'm always, in a firefight type of fight. It's never boring. It's never, like whatever. It's either I get knocked out or I knock someone out. There's always something fun to watch. It's different. I'm not generic compared to most other people, so if that doesn't get you wanting to come watch me, then I don't know what will.
And I will say,
And
I
you
think
never know, and you never know. And
Go
you
ahead,
never
Joe.
know
Go
when
ahead.
he's going to do a Karate Kid scissor kick knockout, because we did that once and nobody covered it because they didn't have good promotion. So you never know when that's coming. You never know when the next question mark kick is. You never know when it's going to be a single-handed knockout the ring. You never know.
Yeah.
That's why they call him Sugar Bomb. So
For sure. And he's landed some of those in the Lions Den too. One of the most unforgettable spinning back kick knockouts, I think. Probably one of the most unforgettable spinning back kick knockouts, period, in combat sports. Like, if we're being honest with ourselves, that was incredible. And we look forward to seeing you in there again September 7th. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael and Joseph, Sugarbomb, Claycomb, I appreciate you guys so much. Good luck to you tomorrow, Mikey and Joseph. You know, we're cheering for you down here in South Florida, also Southern California, I'm sure. And we'll catch up with you soon. You know, good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
thank you, George. We'll see you soon.
Have a
See you
good
at the
one,
next
guys.
one. See you on September 7th.
For
Thank
sure.
you guys, everyone.
Get your tickets, guys, because you know I'm going to get a whole front row.
Let's go. Let's go.